Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mailrite Show. Today, I have taken my end of our show on the road. I am broadcasting live from the Philippines. Woo! Okay, so that's it. We've got a great show for you prep today, and a lot of it, the heavy lifting, is going to be done by John because he has managed to tap into one of the rare categories in which I know very little to nothing about. And I certainly know very little to nothing about the two services, though my team uses both of them. So I can comment from a very high level, but that's it. So John, without any further ado, today's show number 381 is going to be how to make real estate videos faster. Great show, great topic. Before we dive into it, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience and explain to them why you get to be, why you're qualified to be the maestro of this episode.
Well, thanks, Rob. I'm the joint founder of mail-right.com. We provide beautiful websites utilizing WordPress and a suite of marketing tools, a CRM, email, text marketing. It's a real great value competitor to Real Geeks. And why? Well, I've been doing video myself for about 5 years, no, about 3 years, and really ramped up my video production for the past 18 months. And I must produce about 3 or 4 videos per week. I do a little bit of editing myself. And we've talked a lot about, over the past couple of years, haven't we, Rob, about producing video? We've really hammered, because we both really believe in that, honestly. If you're a real estate agent, you've got to really be making a lot more video. But we haven't really, a lot of agents can't afford to have professional editors all the time editing their video. So we haven't really discussed about some methods that could enable you to move your videos up a level with a bit of editing. So you're in that middle ground where it's just not just pure raw video that you upload, but it's also not fully professionally edited. So I thought it was a great subject, Robert.
Well, I think that you're right. A tool that I use, or that I used to use when I actually did do some editing, is not on here, so I'm going to throw it in at the end of the show.
Yeah.
I also use video. Video is oftentimes what is mentioned. My YouTube videos are consistently something that's mentioned inside people that have scheduled calls and appointments with me. I'd say it's a linchpin to my strategies. I've redesigned a room in my house to shoot a different type of video, a whiteboard video, which just a fancy way of saying I've invested, double invested, triple invested into video production just to create something that I felt was a little bit more educational. So we both have definitely dove deep into the video category. And we also use video on the show, where we upload these videos into video format, and we put them on a YouTube channel, or sometimes even 2 YouTube channels. It just depends. But so we're both deeply invested in video. Let's tell you how each of us uses tools to try to produce videos faster, and what our belief is. Now, I'm going to let you lead this show, John, because my beliefs are really simple, and I don't do a lot of editing. I just do a one and done kind of approach, and very much don't use video editing tools. So why don't you start off with number 1 on your list, Canva, and explain to us how it made it to the list and what you like the most about this service?
Yeah. I think to start off, the majority of the editing services and products are going to be discussing during this show, most of them you'll be able to access them either through your browser or from apps that will work either on your iPhone, your iPad, or Android. Or they will work through your browser. So they're not dependent on an operating system as much as some of the more traditional editing tools like Adobe Premiere, Final Cut Pro, DaVinci. They're three of the main players. I utilize, because I'm Mac based, I utilize a more traditional program called ScreenFlow as my editor.
Mm-hmm.
But these are a new breed of editors that won't match the kind of power and functionality of something like Adobe Premiere, but they are much easier to learn how to utilize, and a lot more cheaper normally. So let's start with Canva. Now, Canva is well known as a multitask application that can replace what was a traditional video editor like Adobe Photoshop, and it can also help you with a load of other things as well. But until about a year ago, it did have some video editing functionality, but it was quite limited. They have changed that. They have invested more money and time, and for $14.99, obviously you can get so much of this with a free Canva account, and for what you get on the free account is quite amazing. But I have a paid account, and you pay yearly, and it's around $14. But to get back to the subject of video editing, they have really improved the tools to a level where, for that cost, it really does give you a lot of functionality, and the interface is quite easy to utilize. There is a learning curve, but compared to these professional, semi-professional tools, which I've just mentioned, it's a lot more easier. One of the most amazing things which they recently introduced is a background remover. So you can put in a stream of video and you can remove objects, backgrounds. And you used to only have that kind of power in kind of professional tools like Adobe After Effects.
Right.
But they've really introduced it, and it's very effective. So if you're looking to start editing your videos for social media, also it can output. You can put a video in, and it will automatically output for different platforms, like different platforms, social media platforms require your video in a different aspect ratio, and it can get even confusing for myself, where Canva can help you with that. But for if you're looking to start editing your video on your phone, on your tablet, or on your main computer, it really is a great introduction, and I feel for the price you won't be overwhelmed. What do you reckon, Robert?
Well, I reckon I don't know much about it. I do know that my team uses Canva to do a lot of infographics and a lot of other graphic design. I've seen tools online where they're advertising take away our background, things like that. I think if I was going to use an editing tool, I'd be going towards the ones that are doing a lot of AI and self-generated work. My memory of editing tools was a tool called Screen Master Pro or something like that. It was this very sophisticated tool that cost $400, and then it had your sound, your video, and everything divided into different data streams, and you could move and cut each one of them and move them around and like slot them into places. And at the time, it was one of the most advanced tools that existed, and it was a lot of work to edit a single video. It took if I filmed a 10-minute video and was trying to edit it, it took me like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons I ended up moving into the like, for me personally, I'm not telling everybody listening to the show that this is a match for any of you. I'm just saying that for me personally, I went into a stream of consciousness kind of video production process where I just said, I'm going to film the video. I'm going to keep them down to 10 minutes for the most part. And if I mess it up, I'm going to do it over again, because honestly, editing it out for me, John, took me longer than if I just refilmed the whole thing.
Yeah.
And if I was doing Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
No, sorry to interrupt, but you're totally correct. You know, it takes normally about 3 to 4 times more time to edit than the actual taking of the video. I would suggest that it's just if you want to put your logo on the video, do some titles, do a quick cut. Using Canva is a great introduction, and its interface is one of the more simpler, and the whole UX design and the whole philosophy behind Canva's video editing tools are simplicity, but they're quite powerful still. So I think it's, if you're looking to do, just not do what you've done. To some extent, I do the same in my videos as what you're doing. But if you want to put titles and just do a bit of editing and not for it to take 3 to 4 times the amount of time than actual taking the video, it's a great solution, Rob.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. I'll tell everybody this.
Gospel.
My team loves Canva to do our infographics. They swear by it. The head of my brand and content teams, who knows more about graphic tools than I, like, on my best day, I don't know 1/10 of what he knows, and he swears by it. Everybody that I know that uses graphics or graphics tools or enhances content in any way, shape, or form seems to have Canva somewhere in their toolkit. So the fact that you brought it up and mentioned it, like, do I have anything directly to participate in? No, but I can tell everybody listening to the show with a really large degree of confidence that a huge number of professionals that I trust use this tool and have great things to say about it. That's what I can add. Let's move on. The second tool I've never heard of, so I do not have the same kind of input. The second tool that we have on the list today is called Veed.io. It's a video editing tool. I'm just reading the notes that John was kind enough to leave me. And it is apparently a service that is extremely customer forward, which just is a fancy way of saying they actually have customer service, and apparently it's good. And it's got easy to use a UI. So John, why don't you explain this a little bit to us, especially to me, and tell me how this tool I've never even heard of made it onto your list.
Yeah, it's an English company. It was a startup. They bootstrapped it, and then they went to Y Combinator, which is a startup accelerator. You go there; it's quite famous in Silicon Valley, and they got finance afterwards. And I don't personally. I have interviewed one of the founders on my other podcast. Mm-hmm. If you feel restrained a bit with Canva can't do everything. It's not meant to. There's always a sweet spot where through UX design and functionality, you can do a lot, like 80% of what people are doing, but it's not meant to be a true professional tool. Where this one comes in is it can do a hell of a lot inside the browser, and for the price between $18 to $100 a month. The 18 isn't much more than a 14. If you're starting to want to do more elaborate videos and more, you're really getting into producing video and you're just feeling a bit constrained by Canva, Veed is a great solution. It's web-based. They've got OS app for iPhone, for tablet, and they've also got Android app. And they've got their color correction. They've got other tools. They've got templates for different aspect ratios. They've got a video and music library, which is royalty free. You can utilize it for commercial purposes. Some of that's available also in Canva. So there is a bit of overlap, but it's definitely a step up from Canva, and it not quite, but it's veering into a quasi-professional tool. Hopefully that makes sense, Robert.
Sure. Well, for all of those semi-professional video editors that we have listening to the show, which I'm going to surmise is probably not that many, but v.io is a tool that you might want to check out. Now, I'm gonna add a tip to all of you, maybe even to John, about reviewing tools and thinking that a tool is cool, something like that. I've moved into a place where I mostly hire people, and people, do this work for me. However, many of my people, especially since I'm hiring out of third world countries, they're oftentimes using old antiquated tools like Adobe Illustrator, which is what John is talking about. They're using hacked copies of the software. And the bottom line is that some of the time they're doing tasks where it takes them many, many hours to do something that one of these tools for $14.95 can speed up the efficiency of quite a lot. So that means, put into layman's terms for all of you listening to the show, it sometimes makes sense, even if you're well off in your career and you're at a place like me where you can hire people, and I think that is a larger percentage of you. What would you do? Well, you should maybe occasionally stay up to speed with what tools are out there, and maybe even review the tool without necessarily using it, and ask your people what tools that they're using, and sometimes even maybe like buy a copy and assign it to your people. It depends on the tool. It depends. Canva is one of those tools. I used to pay about $300 per infographic, and now I pay about $50. And that's 100% due to my $14.95 Canva subscription. I make at least 8 infographics per month. All of you listening to the show can do the math. That saves my company, bottom line, thousands of dollars in cost every month for a $14.95 tool. And more than justified both my time and energy in researching the tool, and at least telling my people, yeah, I'll pay the $14.95. Go out there and use it. That's what I have to add to v.io. Next up on the list, number 3. Actually, hold on. You know what? We're going to go to break, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go to break just a couple minutes late here. When we come back, we're going to talk about the remaining handful of tools that are John's list, which is approximately 9 of them. We've made it through 2. As usual, John and I are just on fire with how fast we review these tools. John, I want to do something new. I want you to suggest a place that people can follow you or get in touch with you that you don't usually suggest on the show. Some social channel, something you don't usually push on the show. Name an unusual way that somebody might learn something about you.
I'll go to the My Other podcast, which is the WP Tonic This Week in WordPress and SaaS, and listen to that podcast. It's all about WordPress and about SaaS. But even as a real estate agent, I think, and so does Rob, utilize WordPress as a core technology in his company and in mine and in my other business. So I'm sure you'll learn something if you're really interested. So go over to that show.
I want to say to those listening to the show, that is a bigger podcast for John. And he has had some of the biggest, most recognized voices in the world on that other podcast. John is very, very, very well known in the WordPress space. Sorry, my bad. And so if you want to learn a little bit about both his chops and his reach as a technologist inside the WordPress space, I love that suggestion. Now, for me, if somebody would like to look me up in an unusual way, you could go to the Instagram /inbound-REM Instagram channel. I don't post much there, but I have posted a couple of more like lifestyle pictures while I've been in the Philippines. It's really, you're not going to see any of my normal content there. Nothing heavy. It's like some pictures of my people at play, watching fire dancers and stuff like that. It's much more, it's light. I don't ever promote that channel. I don't even like Facebook stuff. John will be the first to tell you that that's true. I've said it 1,000 times. But if you want to see something different that I don't usually push out, go to my Instagram channel. With no further ado, we're going to go to break. We're going to come right back. And when we do, ladies and gentlemen, we're super excited to talk to you about the rest of John's list. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today's episode is number 381 of the MailRight podcast. It is how to make real estate videos faster. All right. We're on to number 3. which is a website called promo.com. And it says Promo allows you to customize its pre-made templates that you use to create powerful real estate videos. All you need to do is choose videos and photos from your gallery, edit text, add a logo, resize, and you're done. All right, John, hit us with the wisdom, my man.
Well, in usage, it seems in the UX side of it, it isn't quite as powerful as Veed, but what makes it a bit different is that they've got a whole library of pre-made videos, and they have a whole section that have been pre-designed for real estate agents. So it's the video, and you can change the logo, you can change the wording, but they've got a whole library for particular industries. So they've got a category of pre-made videos for the restaurant industry. They've got about a dozen different categories, and they have music. They've got a music library, royalty free. They've got assets which you can place upon the videos, but they have this library of pre-made videos which Veed doesn't have, specifically designed to be utilized by real estate agents. And it starts at, it's a bit more expensive. It starts at about $30 and it goes up to $199. That's if you sign up for a yearly account, because they, if you go month to month, it goes up in price quite a bit because they offer a 50% discount. So I normally go with the month-to-month amounts, but I'll put the yearly one because there's such a big discount. But for $29, if you pay for the yearly account, they have all this library of pre-designed, specifically aimed at real estate agents, Rob.
Perfect. I did a 10-second review for those of you listening to the show, and here's my hot take. So those for those of you who may not have a channel at all, these videos are literally completely done for you with common topics. The way that I would leverage them if I was going to build what's called a faceless YouTube video, which is a thing. Tons of people are following this strategy where you just don't have that much with you. What I would do is a strong intro video, and then I'd buy the membership. I'd pump out every single template that they've got, like with some custom descriptions and custom notes on it to make it appear as if it was all my content. And then I'd post it to the site, post it to the channel, and see if I could get a few thousand views on what is actually fairly low quality content. Other than that, I wouldn't make a recommendation that most people use it. But somebody trying to get a channel off the ground who just wants to do a lot of work very fast and is willing to pay a little bit of money, that would be a idea that you could potentially do. All right, we're going to move on to number 4. It's called BigViewTV.tv. So it's BigView.tv. From writing down and practicing your script to recording and editing video to rolling it out on your chosen platform, you won't need any other video application. This does teleprompter, auto caption, style video, composer, trimmer, share on social media, replace green screen, video landing page. John, how did this make your list?
Yeah, well, it's really aimed, the teleprompter is really impressive. It's really aimed for people that are using their smartphone to make videos or their tablet, because the app, which will run on your tablet, Android or Apple, or your iPhone, it does a split screen, and it's records in portrait mode. And part of it, you have your teleprompt script. So you can script out your whole video. And let's say you're doing a quick 2 to 3 intro of a house, where you can write your notes, import it, upload them, and you would have your spiel in front of you. Because a lot of people really do find it really difficult to talk in front of the camera without a script. And it's also got landing pages. It provides the ability to upload those videos to landing pages, which can have attached lead capture ability. It provides that function. It doesn't provide full websites, but it does provide what it calls video landing pages, which is an interesting concept. And it's really aimed at somebody on the road that wants to pump out a lot more kind of semi-professional videos that are a bit more polished, and it's got a real. It's not specifically designed for real estate professionals, but I can see it being worth looking at, and it's got some unique aspects that might make it more attractive or more usable than some of the other great products that we've talked about.
Well, I think that John said it really well, so I'm not going to add anything. We're going to go on to number 5. iMovie Mac only, no notes, just apple.com/iMovie/, not a Mac user, not never used this tool, never even heard of this tool. So John, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, because it comes free with every Mac. It doesn't come with the iPhone. I might be wrong there. It might come with an app that actually runs on the iPhone. But any desktop or laptop Mac that you buy, this will come free. It's easier to utilize than the professional tools, but the reason I added it, Rob, is that I think people are going to find utilizing something like Canva or one of the other web-based, app-based tools that we've discussed in this show a bit easier to learn, because it's a strange mixture, iMovie. It is very focused on the Mac user because you can only run it on the Mac, but it's got a very I was going to say peculiar interface, but that's not the right word. It's eccentric kind of interface that I find, but I've utilized more professional tools. I just think now in interface design terms, it's a little bit dated.
Sure.
But if you want to get started and you don't want to pay for Canva, but because everything Canva provides that's really useful for a real estate agent, I think spending $15.99 on Canva a month, or you have to pay yearly, is a no. You shouldn't even. You should just pay it. And because it's got these increased video tools, I don't think. If I was paying for Canva, I wouldn't look at iMovie, but it's still an option because it's free if you buy a Mac.
Sure. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for the incredible and insightful notes. I lost my thread here, ladies and gentlemen, so you're going to have to give me a second while I reopen. I don't know how I did that, to be perfectly honest with everybody. I didn't realize I closed anything out. So number 6 is Adobe Premiere Rush.
Yeah.
It's under, you can go to adobe.com/products/premiere-rush.html. It's a hell of a URL. God, it must be nice to just be so market dominant. You just don't care how user-friendly finding your products are. Adobe Premiere Rush is a mobile and desktop video editing app that shows creativity like a pro. This amazing video editing tool allows users to shoot, create, and edit excellent and attractive videos on mobile and desktop. That sounds very interesting. Adobe has always been the grandfather of video editing tools. What do you know about this one?
Well, it's their response to all the tools that we've just been talking about, because their Premiere product, which is Adobe Premiere Pro, is a desktop-based application that can work on Mac or Windows. It's one of the 3 main professional video editing tools that dominates the market. You have to, if you want it, you have to pay a quite expensive subscription, but this is their response to some of the other tools like Veed and some of the other tools that we've just talked about, because you pay $9.99 for it, and it has a more polished, modern UX design than their Premiere Pro, because their Premiere Pro is the code base is almost 20 years old. Obviously, they've updated it, but it is a rather old code based. They've been able to build this, and it's web based, and you can run it on your iPhone, on your Android, on your tablet, and it is their response to some of the other products that we've talked about, Rob.
And knowing very little about either Adobe itself or the response to their products, I'm just gonna once again say, great review, great recap. Anybody that's interested in finding it, you get to try to find that massive URL. John will no doubt post it in the show notes, so you can look there and you can click it instead of trying to remember it. The next product on our list, coming in at number 7, is Runway ML. That's under runwayml.com. Finally, exactly as it sounds. Runway ML is a game changer in the world of online video editing, leveraging the power of machine learning to revolutionize the editing experience with this entirely online platform. Runway ML offers the user's convenience of accessing the program without downloading or storing it, freeing up valuable device space. Moreover, its cloud recording rendering capabilities enable users to easily edit and export videos in 4K and work with files in PNG, ProRes, and other formats. Wow, that sounds really interesting. How did this hit your radar?
Yeah, it's really taken off, this particular product, because it's using AI, and a lot of the kind of wedding video makers, the kind of photographers that help real estate agents and brokerages take photos and edit their videos. Every power team or brokerage normally has a local editor, photographer that helps them. It's really taken off because it uses AI to really speed up the cutting process, the raw editing process of cutting a video and having transitions between one scene and the other. And if you've done any really reasonable level of editing, that is the time-consuming part. As you get a longer video and you're cutting it up and doing transaction, you're using the same short keys on your keyboard a lot. Well, it actually can do those cuts for you using AI technology. They've got some demos on their website, and there's plenty of people talking about it on YouTube. It's not a ridiculous price. It's to get its value, you probably moved on a little bit more than some of the starter editing products that we've talked about in this podcast, Rob. But it does, for the price between $12.99 and $28. If you're doing a lot of editing, or you've got somebody in your team, it's a bit like what you said about your own team and about providing Canva. If you're doing a lot of video, this is probably a tool that you would probably look at just to give it to your team, because it is going to save a lot of time in the raw editing of video, Rob.
Sweet. That's great insight from start to finish. I agree with you. I may very well circle back around and look at this tool for the sake of my team, because we are moving into video editing. Video.ai, but video in this case is spelled VIDYO.ai. This one makes short videos from long ones instantly. Now, this I might look at like right now. So, John, tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, it's another AI tool that's got a fair bit of traction and reviews. It's something I'll probably be looking at myself. So basically, you have all these different, you have like Instagram Reels, you have TikTok, you have all these different platforms that really wants video and encourages its users to upload video, and you'll get more views if you do upload video. You've got YouTube Reels as well. It's well known that YouTube's giving more organic views if you utilize the Reel product. But they've all got different upsize limits, the ratio, portrait, landscape. Well, this can take a video, you upload it, and it will cut it all up into short videos that are suitable. Like LinkedIn's got its own limits, so it cuts them all up for these different platforms and shoots it all out for you. and it prepares all these formats for all these different platforms. It saves gobs of time. And when I was reading the reviews and looking at it, it seems to do the job. And like I say, it's around $29 to $50 for the program. If you're looking to produce video and push them to all these different platforms, it'll probably save a lot of time, Rob.
I think I might have to give that one a spin. So I'm not going to comment. I'm just going to say the description of it is interesting enough that I'm going to go back and look at it further. Yeah. Gling, www.gling.ai. Last one on our list, but maybe not the least. Who knows? Your virtual AI video editor for Mac and Windows. Our AI will cut silences and bad takes for you so you can focus on your YouTube videos. All right.
Yeah, it's a combination. It does a bit of what Runaway, but it has a more focus in. It actually looks at the video and takes the hums out. Like, I've just done one. The ums, the hums, the silences, the imperfections. It basically goes out the video and takes all that out. It uses which is enough a time. If you're hiring a professional video editor, they're charging you for all that. So either they have the tool and they're still charging you, or you buy the tool and you provide it to whoever's doing the editing. It will save an enormous amount of time in that boring but essential getting rid of the hums, the artificial problems. Every video has them when you're taking it. This helps you remove that, Rob.
Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of the list. That was 9 amazing recommendations. John did all the research and the categorizing for this particular video. So if you liked it, please drop John a note on any of the channels that you may see this on, whether that be YouTube or Instagram or wherever it is that you see comments about the show posted. If you've heard about our show from somebody else, which I have been getting more and more myself recently in terms of how people are saying that they found us/me, please do John and I a favor. Drop a note on any of the channels that you heard it and mention who recommended the show to you. John and I are endlessly fascinated by how our show gets out there and who's listening to it. So if you want to share that with us, we'd both be in your debt. John, we're back to the traditional part of the show. How would you like people to reach out to you the normal way?
Oh, thanks, Rob. Well, go over to the mel-wright.com website. We've got some fantastic tools. We've got AI writer that helps you write content, short descriptions. You shouldn't use it for long form, in my opinion, but we got a great AI tool as part of the package that comes with all the packages, our AI writing tool that will help you write descriptions on properties and really save you time. We've got a CRM. We've got an email marketing and sends out text messages linked to landing pages that you can build on our platform. It really is truly feature rich, and it's a real competitor to Real Geeks and other similar platforms. Back over to you, Rob.
Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to learn more about me, you can go to inboundrem.com, hit the about page or services page. I feel like with I've resisted doing video about AI. I think I might change my mind on that. Anyway, so stay tuned. I've got a lot of new videos on my channel. I released a whole batch of content before I left the country to come to the Philippines, and we're bleeding it out 1 week at a time. So if you'd like to see what was hot on my mind as I got ready to leave the country, you can do so on my YouTube channel. One of my favorite videos that is taking off is the death of real estate branding. It's really gotten some commentary, got some some momentum. So if anybody's interested in that subject, I really do think that real estate branding as we know it is dead. You can check out my YouTube channel, which is YouTube/InboundREM.
Well, that's
YouTube InboundREM. Huh?
That sounds like next week's topic, Rob.
They're great. Let's talk about it next week. John, thank you for everything that you do. John allows me the privilege and the pleasure of traveling to other worlds, other countries, and doing my work from here. And it's because John consistently does all the heavy lifting for the show, and I just get to show up. But to my own credit, it is now 5:45 in the morning where I'm at. So I get a little bit of credit because showing up was not quite as easy as being in the US this time around. So no further ado, take us offline, John. We'll catch you the next time, right?
Bye.